ICE agents targeted as they continue cracking down on illegal immigration. Agents are now facing a surge in doxing, with their photos and personal information getting posted online. DHS is calling to prosecute doxing suspects and says attacks on its officers has spiked 830% since January. Let's now go to former acting ICE Director Jonathan Fahey. Jonathan, thank you so much for being here. When you see that California, well, let's start here. California has introduced a bill that would ban federal agents from being able to wear masks. It passed a key committee vote. And now you have the Democratic representative from California, Eric Swallwell, saying this. Let's listen.
These ICE agents running around our communities like masked bank robbers, terrorizing women, they're going to get themselves hurt, and I hope that doesn't happen. And we're already seeing women are being targeted by people who are impersonating ICE agents.
Jonathan, respond to that as well as respond to doxing, how harmful this is for ICE agents out there.
Well, first of all, the reason these agents have to wear masks is because of all of the efforts from the Democrats to obstruct their mission, to put them in danger, to threaten them. So the reason they are wearing masks is not by choice, but it's out of necessity because they need to be kept safe. So Eric Swallwell and all these other people are doing everything they can to interfere with ICE and performing their mission, to demonize them, to defame them. And his remarks were actually tame compared to what we've heard a lot of politicians refer to ICE as when it's the Gestapo or Nazis or terrorists. But that's the type of language that puts them in danger. And you see the numbers of assaults are up, what, 800+%. But the scary thing is something really bad is going to happen, more than just an assault, if this doesn't tone down. And you look at California, you're mentioning these laws to eliminate masking and things like that. One, they're unconstitutional facially, but it just shows every effort is being made to obstruct ICE, to obstruct their mission. And the Democrats are really reacting to Donald Trump's success on the border in the most extreme way because they want to continue the open borders agenda that they've had in place for the last 4 years.
It's not just California. Massachusetts and New York have also introduced similar bans of masks for federal agents. And you also have some 21 attorneys general that have recommended that a federal ban be put in place on masking. You say it's unconstitutional. You also have Marcia Blackburn, a Republican, who says that she's actually introduced a bill that would make it also a criminal offense to dox ICE agents. It surprised me, Jonathan, that there isn't any kind of law on the books that makes doxing of ICE agents illegal.
Yeah, and it's great that Senator Blackburn is on top of this issue because if you think about it, they're doxing the agents, but they're not only putting them in danger, they're putting their families in danger. These are people that have, spouses, children, they have neighbors, all of these things, and they're being put in danger because of politics, and they're simply doing their jobs. Their job is to enforce the immigration laws, and so is President Trump's, by the way. It's not just politics. He's actually doing what he's required to do, and just because Alejandro Mayorkas and Joe Biden were derelict in their duties doesn't mean he has to be. But this is a great step because these agents are being put in danger, and people putting their personal identifying information out there, they could be sitting ducks just sitting in their homes to somebody that's following the lead of these Democratic politicians and thinks they're doing a good thing by harming these agents. So I really credit Senator Blackburn for being on top of this. And I think anyone that attacks ICE agents, anyone that's putting them in danger needs to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law because they need to be protected. And this idea that the Democratic Party is sort of defaming ICE agents and law enforcement really for sport and for political purposes at this point is so shameful, and the consequences of it can be very dire, and it needs to end.
There's also been talk here that this threat of doxing could very much hurt the recruiting process here, which makes sense. I mean, who's going to want to work for ICE or for a federal agency, law enforcement agency, if they can't protect themselves and their family? I'll give you a quick 15 seconds here to respond to that. That seems to make sense to me.
Well, yeah, these agents already are willing to put their lives on the line to keep all of us safe. And the idea that there are certain politicians that want to make their jobs harder and less safe is really outrageous. The good news is the morale is so good at ICE and CBP that people do want to come and be a part of this mission, but it certainly doesn't help the mission and doesn't help recruiting things like this. But I still think they are on such a great track that they are going to be able to recruit high numbers and high quality.
And the One Big Beautiful Bill puts a lot of money behind that as well. So Jonathan Fahey, thank you so much for taking time this morning.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.